All right, guys, we're gonna give this a try here and see how this works. Okay. So this is where we were on Friday. Remember seeing this problem on Friday that was here? Okay. So today we're gonna look at this problem right here. Okay. So here's what's happening. I'm showing you two different items. Okay. And they both represent the same relationship. Okay. What I want to know for everybody in the class is why are these two items representing the same relationship? What allows them to be representing the same thing? Okay. This is a group discussion question. So I'm going to give you about a minute and a half or so to talk about it in your groups, have a good conversation. Okay. Green group, bring Owen up to speed just a little bit. Okay. He wasn't here the last couple of times. Just go with it and see what you guys come up with. We'll meet on the other side and discuss what you guys talked about, okay? So take 90 seconds. I want to hear a good conversation. I'm going to walk by, okay? And then we'll talk about what you guys discovered on the other side, all right? Everybody understand directions? Go. Why do these two items represent the same relationship? That's the question. Okay. I guess you could also ask, well, how do these two items represent the same relationship? What way is that possible? Okay. You guys ready to talk to me? I'll take volunteers. Okay. You may want to talk about maybe what they discussed and what they can maybe decide from what we have up here. You see any connections between the graph and the equation? They're both blue. Very good. Okay. Riley's correct. They're both blue. Awesome. All right. I don't know if that helps us get to where we want to get though. But yes, good observation. They are both blue. Okay. How about anything else? How about anything else? Anybody notice anything else? Rissa, what did you notice?
I guess I did the slope and it's 1/2.
Okay, so you found the slope of your line, and you realized that it was also 1/2. There's a 1/2 in your equation. Is that what you're trying to tell me? Okay, so let's go ahead and put that information up here. See what we get. So, Riston said he went up one level, right 2 levels, and he ended up noticing that his slope was 1/2. So we have a match with this 1/2 right there. Everybody see that? Okay, so that accounts for the 1/2 in the equation. Okay, what about that +2? What could account for that? See if you can figure out a place on the graph that might represent that +2 on the equation. And again, we're just speculating here. We're just experimenting. We don't have any wrong answers at this point. We're just trying some things out. Okay, Nathan, what do you think?
Like the +2 on the outside of the graph?
Like right here
No,
or here?
like at the bottom side of the graph. Like right above the sub 1/2 thing.
Right here? Come up here and point to it then. Yeah, I'm totally not pointing to the right place. You tell me what you're thinking. Do you think it means that they're here on the x-axis? Okay. All right. Okay. Anybody have any other ideas what it might represent? Look for a place that might be resembling a 2, somewhere on your line, on your graph, like Nathan did. Nathan thought it might be this point right here. I'll mark the point on the graph for us again, just so we have it for reference. Okay. Right there is where he was looking at. Okay. Is that what it represents, or does it maybe represent something else? Okay. Is it close to it? Okay. Where else do you see some values of 2 being utilized here in this relationship? There's a couple other places here. Okay. Where else? Okay. Addie, do you see anything? No, nothing at all. Okay. Mason, do you see anything? Okay. Pedro, do you see anything? Aaron, do you see anything? Allison, do you see anything? Riley, do you see anything? The order pair?
Yeah.
Okay. Which one?
They both have 2 on them.
They both have 2s in them. I know it makes it more complicated to figure it out, doesn't it? Which one, if you go with your gut, which one would you go with?
First one is a 0.
This one right here? Okay. All right. So I have a question for everybody. Okay. I contend that every line that I graph on a coordinate plane will intersect at some point both the y-axis somewhere and the x-axis somewhere. Do you agree or disagree? Any diagonal line that I graph, I need to specify it's diagonal. Okay, any diagonal line that I graph will intersect the y-axis somewhere, which is the vertical axis, okay, and the x-axis somewhere, which is the horizontal axis. Would you guys agree with that or not? Okay, all right. So here's the thing, guys. Today what we're going to do in class is I'm going to show you how to graph an equation, okay? I'll show you, if I give you the equation, can you give me the equation's graph? I'm going to show you how to go through the process of making that happen, okay? Here's the deal. We are going to have to use the slope here to get the steepness correct, right? So I have to know that value. You've already identified that value in your equation. This is value with the x, right? Okay? So whatever that value is, that's going to be your slope. So that's great. Okay? But here's the thing. Okay? Where do I start my graph at? How do I know where to start and then use my slope to get my next point? Okay? I mean, I could go up 1 over 2 anywhere, okay, or even down here up 1 over 2. How did I know that I needed to have this point right here in my graph? Because the graph said it's positive 2, right? Okay, so then we will know to start our graph 2 levels above the origin on the y-axis, okay? That second number there, that plus 2, is what we call the y-intercept, okay? That value tells us where on the y-axis our graph intersects it, okay? Which gives us a place to start. All right? I start at 0, 2, right here. I go up 1 over 2 to get my next point. All I need are 2 points. I've got my graph. Okay? That's what I'm going to show you here in just a minute how to get. All right? Before I do that, though, I want to show you something else here real fast. Are you familiar with this formatting? Have you seen this before anywhere? Anybody seen this before anywhere? Some of you might have seen it last year. Does this ring a bell? If it didn't, it's okay. Okay? It's okay. This is a base form of an equation that I'm going to enhance today. Okay? What I'm going to show you is how an equation is written in slope-intercept form. Here it is. Check this out. And get a picture of this. Okay? Does everybody have their picture? Excellent. All right, so in slope-intercept form, okay, the value with x is your m value. That's your slope. So whatever fraction or number is with your x, that's going to be how much your slope is, your rate of change, okay? We don't know why it's really m. I think it has a French origin to it, but I forget present time why it's m and not something else, okay? This value here is b usually, sometimes c, whatever. But any number added or subtracted after the x term, or with the x term for that matter, is the y-intercept, okay? So this tells us our starting place on that y-axis. Okay, if we are adding it with the positive number, we start above that many levels on the y-axis. Okay, if it's a negative number, we start below that many levels on the y-axis. If there isn't a number here, guess where we start? We start at the origin. Okay, start at 0, 0. Does that make sense? Okay, so this is a general form for an equation, okay? In Algebra 1 next year, when you take Algebra 1, you'll relearn this a little bit and enhance it a little bit, but you'll also learn some different ways to write equations, okay, of lines, okay? Some different linear equations. So you need to know this one really well because in Algebra 1, we do a lot with it and we also go beyond it, okay? So this is a good time to get this down, all right? What I'm going to show you now is an equation written in slope-intercept form. And from that equation, I want you to pull off the slope and identify it, and pull off the y-intercept and tell me what that is. Okay? Note that y and x will be in every equation you see. They will not be swapped out for numbers. Only m and possibly b. Okay? You will see a y and an x in every equation for the most part, unless there's a special circumstance. Show me a thumb if we're okay. I know I just talked a lot. Okay? All right, so I'm going to show you an example. For the example, tell me the slope and tell me the y-intercept. Everybody understand directions? All right, here we go. And I'll shrink this down a little bit so you can see the base there, the base form. Okay? So that equation down there at the bottom. What's the slope and what's the y-intercept? Okay. List those down. All we're doing is those values from the equation. That's it. Okay? Has everybody gotten two answers? Need a value for the slope, need a value for the y-intercept, okay? What do you think these are? Use the form given to you. It's identified up there in the form, so you know exactly which one's which. What's up, Nathan?
The slope is.
Oh, hold on a second, hold on. I want you guys to discuss with the group mates first. I didn't realize you were going to tell me answers, okay? I thought you had a question. But then I'm going to have you help me out, okay? So hold that thought. Appreciate the admission there. Everybody have answers? Group talk, okay? Yellows talk, greens talk, blues talk, 30 seconds. Make sure you guys are all in agreement, and then we're going to go on up here, okay? Go. What's the slope? What's the y-intercept? Have those discussions. I want to hear them. Okay. Yellow group, you ready? Green group, you ready? Blue group, you ready? Those are pretty. Oh, you don't know? Talk. Figure it out. Let's go. Everybody talk about it? All right. You guys ready, man? Nathan, what's the slope?
3x.
Okay, so with the slope, it's just the value before x. It's not including x, all right? So it's just going to be the 3 this time. Okay, in all times, basically, all right? The x is just stationary there. So the slope is 3. And since it's a whole number, we're going to write it as a fraction. 3 over what denominator? Yes, 3 over 1. Very good. I'll explain why when we start to graph these, why that's important. Okay? Very good, very good. Addison, what's the y-intercept?
2.
What kind?
Negative.
Yes, you have to make sure you include the sign with it, okay? We're going to write that as an ordered pair. 0, -2. That's it, guys. Everybody okay with this? Want to try one on your own? Try one on your own. And this I'm going to have you guys do it yourself for 30 seconds, okay? talk figures for 30 seconds, and then, since you guys all have labels on your desk today, I'm rolling those dice. Okay? So now everybody's fair game. Here we go. Try B. All right, turn it talk to your group mates, make sure you guys are all on the same page. Also, in your notes, make sure you put the original equation so you have a reference point when you have to review your notes for your assessment, okay? All right, talk, go. I want to hear a good conversation. I'm about to get the dice. And I'm going to roll two people's numbers. Or numbers. All right, I have my two people. Are you guys ready? I rolled Aaron's number first. Actually, I rolled Nathan's number first. This is the previous problem. I'm going to pre-pass this time. So, Aaron, you're up. Okay. What is the slope? That is exactly right. Nice job. Okay. Riley, what's the y-intercept? Yeah. Very good. Now, for your slope, put the negative sign with the top number. Okay. We'll tell you why in just a second. We're going to start graphing these in just a minute. Okay. It's going to be a lot easier. And then for the bottom one, again, write it as an order pair. So it's going to be 0, 1. Thumbs up, thumbs down. How are we doing with this? Just pulling those numbers from the equation. That's all we're doing here, okay? Are we good? Good. Now, I'm going to show you how to graph these, okay? You've already done the first step, because the first step is pulling the slope and the y-intercept from the equation, all right? So we're actually going to graph equation A on the coordinate plane now. Does that make sense? So I have the method ready to go here, okay? I need you to get this in your notes. Take a picture of it. Okay. It's your step-by-step on how to graph. This is one way to graph. All right. One way to graph these here. I'm actually going to show you two ways. Okay. I'm not concerned that you know both ways. You need to know one way well. All right. So you get a choice. You get to choose which way you like the best. Okay. All I'm going to be grading on your assessment is if your line is correct correctly. Does it have the correct slope? Does it have the correct y-intercept? If those two things are good, I give you points for it. Doesn't matter how you get there as long as you choose the correct approach. Okay? Everybody understand? Does everybody have this in their notes? Okay, so again, let's go back to problem A from before and write down what the slope was, what the y-intercept was. Okay, Pedro, what was the slope on this equation again? It's the same one we did before. Okay, it was problem A from above. That was problem B. What was problem A? That's it. Yep, 3/1's your slope. Very good. Very good, very good. Mason, what's your y-intercept on this one? That's correct. So we're going to have the point 0, -2. Okay. Now that we have that information, we're going to start graphing this. We start by plotting the y-intercept. Okay. Plot this point right here. Plot 0, -2. Okay. Is that 2 above, 2 below, 2 to the left, or 2 to the right of the origin, class? 2 below. Very good. Okay. Remember that first point is on that vertical axis right here. Okay, this one right here. So your starting point should always be on that line that I just highlighted in purple. Everybody got that? Because you'll be surprised how many people I see have a starting line on the x or starting point on the x-axis, and then everything else is off. Okay, so start on the y-axis. 0, -2 is right there. Everybody good with that one? Okay. Now, step 3 says to use the slope to find another point. Here's what we're going to do. Remember that your slope is change in y over change in x, right? Okay. So the top number is 3, and it is positive. So I need to travel from my starting point, my y-intercept point, 0, -2, 3 levels. Okay. Which direction do I travel those 3 levels? Raise your hand. Help me out with this. Okay. Aaron? Up is correct. Okay. Why up? Mm-hmm. And the 3 is positive, right?
Yep.
And that indicates that it's going to be going upward. Okay? Are we okay with that, everybody? Okay, so I'm going to start at my y-intercept here. I'm going to mark it on the graph for you. So we're going to start here. 1, 2, 3 levels right here. There's your 3-level jump. Okay with that, everyone? Now, the bottom number tells you which direction to go up to right. We go 1 unit, which direction? Right is correct, okay, because it's a positive 1. So we'll go right this way, and my new order pair is right here. Okay, if you have your 2 order pairs, then you can graph a line between them. And just like that, ladies and gentlemen, you've graphed an equation. Okay? Now, I did that kind of quickly. Are there any questions about this? Let's recap what we did. Okay? Number 1, we found the slope of the y-intercept from our equation. Wrote those down. Number 2, we plotted the y-intercept first for our starting point. Number 3, we found the we used the slope to find the next point. Okay? So I just took the top number of my slope, moved that much up or down, up in this case. Took the bottom number, moved that much right or left in this, and it was right in this case. Okay? That's all we have to do. Just be consistent with this approach, and you can graph anything I give you. Want to try another one? That's the right answer. Okay? Let's go again. Okay? So on the next one, what I want you guys to do for me, if you're not sure about how to use the slope to get the graph, that's fine. But do the first 2 steps, okay? So write down your slope and your y-intercept and plot the y-intercept on the graph. Sound good? Let's do it. Here it is. I'm going to come around and see what everybody's doing. Once you got the first 2 steps, try to get the graph. Okay? You start on that y-axis, that vertical axis. First point goes on that up or down axis. If you need some help getting your graphs figured out, there's a couple of things you can do in Notability that helps make it easier. It's some grid paper, maybe turn your paper into grid paper, or you can insert a grid sticky. Okay, and that way you don't have to recreate your graph all the time. If you're interested in learning how those work, let me know. I'll be glad to show you. Okay. All right, here we go. You guys ready to go here? Ariana, what's the slope on this one? Well, which number is in the place of the m variable from the original equation? Number y equals mx plus b. That's correct. That is your slope. Okay, good job. Good, good. Okay. Nathan, what's the y-intercept this time? Yep, 0, 1. That's your y-axis, your x-axis. We're going to start at 0, 1 right here. Okay. Now, how do I get my next point? You can take me through the motions of getting the next point here correctly. How can we do that? Aaron, what do we do? We do. 1, 2, 3. We do. Good job. Down 3. 1, 2, 3, 4. Right 4. Right there we go. Here's the point right there. Are we okay with that? If I were to tell you to do this on your own, could you do it right now? That's what we have to ask ourselves. If the next problem on this list was a quiz, could you do it on your own? I feel confident about it. Is that a possibility? Good. Okay. Now, I'm going to kind of throw a monkey wrench at things here just a little bit because I'm going to show you the other way to graph. Okay. You only have to commit to one way. Okay. So if you like this way and how it's going, then just skip what I'm talking about here for the next example. Okay. If you're not liking how this is going, you might consider what I'm doing for the next example, and then you can use that instead. All right. I feel like I should show you at least an alternative way because there's students that like to do it both ways. Okay, students that prefer one way or the other. Okay, so we're gonna look at this new problem. This is one we haven't done yet before. Okay, and we're gonna graph this one using a table. Okay, I'm gonna show you how to get that set up in a minute. In fact, I'm gonna get the table set up, and then we're gonna spend probably the most of our time next session working on filling in the table because we're about out of time this time. Okay. Okay, so I'm just going to talk you through this here real fast, all right? If you get this table in your notes, and then we'll fill it in first thing on Thursday for class, all right? So on this method, you get to select the values for x. They're free choice, okay? Now, there are going to be some values that are going to be easier to work with than others. So choose carefully, all right? And if you have fractions in your equation, you can choose more wisely, okay? You're going to take your x value, you're going to plug it in for x in your equation, you're going to solve for y, okay? You'll get a y value, and you'll generate an ordered pair, okay? All you need to do is do that twice to get 2 points, and then you can plot them and get a line on your graph, okay? So that's what we're going to do next time, all right? We're going to quit there today, and we'll pick it up on Thursday. Good job, everybody.